Okay, so this is a 3-footer lesson where let's talk a little bit about structure and about similarities and differences. This can be used like a standard, can I borrow yours? Like a standard Baston, which as you can see, 10 inches, this is 26 inch. I also have 28 inch, but this is a 36 inch, so it's got 10 inches on this one. And comparable in thickness, but my 36 inch is a little bit fatter. But the sticks I have over there, I did the math earlier, this is double the mass, double the cubic inches of rattan. So therefore, assuming the same density, it's double the weight. Now what does that mean for fighting? Well, here's a common misunderstanding when you're fighting with a stick. People think, well, if I touch him in any way, it hurts him. And yes, and no. It depends. It depends on who it is you're hitting and where you're hitting him, but also how you're hitting him. A lot of people, they hit with just the arm, you know, and it bounces off. It hurts, but he'll feel it tomorrow, but he'll keep fighting. So what we want is when we put some body behind it and we hit it, it goes to the bone. And I mean literally, it goes past the flesh, past the muscle and fat, and it breaks or shatters bone, bruises bone. That has a different effect on the opponent altogether. If you hit him on the forearm, it can break one of his forearm bones. If you hit him on the hand, it could shatter his hand, break his fingers. You hit him on the head, you could knock him out and kill him. So this idea of like bouncing off instead of going in, you know, deep with some body behind it, the hips behind it, that's a whole different matter. And this stick gives you obviously more reach, but also more mass. When you actually hit, you're going to penetrate to bone. So that when you hit somebody, they tend to stay hit. So the other thing is, not only can I use it like a single stick, but it also can be used like a staff, more like a baseball bat, or maybe swung like a boken. But certainly not the same as just a regular Baston. The thing is, to use it with one hand, you need to develop your strength. You know, I do a lot of, I'm about to release a video on that, on how to develop grip strength and wrist strength. I do a lot of that. And so even with a stick like this, it has so much mass, and Hunter's got one of his own, which he nicely wrapped the handle with tape too.
I guess like,
yeah.
it helps.
But you can hold it here and you can flex it, and that you can feel the strain of that. That is a very important aspect. Doing this, again, that's the twisting version, where you're working these muscles that help you rotate. That's something you do all the time with the stick. Then of course grip and other things you develop, as well as torso, you know, core strength, arm strength. To be able to wield this like a single stick. He throws a one at me, and see, I can wield it and I can hit back with just one hand. But I could also do this. He throws it again, and I can incorporate two stick elements, two-handed grip elements, I should say, not two stick, but longer stick, staff elements, into the way I wield the stick. And that also goes for momentarily holding it to thrust, augmented blocks that lead into two-handed swings, but you could also do something in between, which we also do with Baston, which is power shots, which is pushing on your own arm, your forearm at your wrist, to follow it through and then letting it go. But you're sending that much more mass and that much more reach out his way. And the thing is, you also find that extra 8 to 10 inches of reach really matters. But yet it's short enough that I can hit and return quickly again without a big wind up and return that you would have with a longer step. So this is able to return, stay back in play without much delay. Because you're always concerned about, like, if I take a big swing with a big weapon, that he has time to rush in or to hit me before I can come back with that weapon. Part of that is your technique, but part of it is just the weapon. If the weapon is that long and that heavy, you're going to kind of have a lumbering quality to how you fight with it. You ever see the famous scene at the end of the movie Rob Roy, where the main character is in a fight for his life, a duel against a skilled fencer, and the other guy has a saber, I think it was, but Rob Roy has his claymore, and he's losing. He almost dies in the fight, and then he has an idea right at the end that saves him. But the fact remains, it was very tiring, and he's swinging this big sword, and he just couldn't keep up with this guy that would just kind of parry and riposte and then move, and kept sticking him and cutting him and frankly embarrassing him. Until he finally said, you know, if I grab that and hack him in his neck, that'll end it, and that's what he did. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna first look at him throwing an angle 1 and me blocking it various ways. He throws a 1, I can do a roof block, strong stick there, so I'm gonna put my hand to augment it, and then I'm gonna come back either with this, or I roof and I grab it and I swing. Then he swings backhand, and I do a backhand and I hit again. Very simple. You'll find that actual fighting reduces to the timing, the range, you know, the certain choices, but the actual angles of attack and the angles of response and defense are not sophisticated. They shouldn't be. You wouldn't really want to stake your life on something really fancy or really overly complicated, because you frankly won't be able to pull it off. The person who's done, you know, 10,000 roof blocks is the one who's going to block that angle 1. And he's going to do it like it's another day at the office, because he's done it thousands of times. So we're here again, and he goes hit, and I hit, and I deflect, and I hit. But getting used to the feel, this feels like you're swinging a baseball bat, a little lighter than an adult-sized bat, but very fast and good reach. This is probably overall my favorite single blunt weapon. I tend to prefer this over a longer staff or over a Baston, regular Baston. Because like I said, it's a hybrid. It allows me to do more things, which we'll get into more of those in a minute. We'll get into two-hand thrusts and so forth. Okay, so let's start with this.